bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Yeah. Fade to Black. Did I just clear my throat? Hit the button too soon. How you doing? Fade to Black. Thursday night. Bespoke radio for the masses. Today's Thursday, Fader night, May 26th, 147 days into the new year. 217 days left. What's up? We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. I'd like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. It's Fade to Black. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your so humble host, Jimmy Church. What's cracking, everybody? Tonight is Fader Nights, Thursday, best night of the week. And tonight, we have a very special guest joining the show, Giorgio Tsoukalos. Ancient Aliens. Yes, he is here. The call-in number is 323-825-5045. Open lines all night long. Tomorrow night, I'll be sitting in for George Norrie and hosting Coast to Coast AM. My guest will be Dr. Stephen Greer. Man, do I get a day off? Anybody tell me, do I ever get a day off? Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Come and hang out with all of us. We don't bite. And you can follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Everything is Fade to Black. And you can just click on the appropriate buttons right now over at jimmychurchradio.com. You can email throughout the show, jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Any questions or comments during the show? Hashtag F2BQ. Fade to Black questions. F2BQ. All right. Where am I? I'm so excited. It's going to be a great show tonight. I love taking phone calls, and it's one of my favorite things to do. And when it comes to Thursday night and opening up the phone lines, there is a certain edge that happens there because you don't know what anybody wants to talk about, if they're going to ask a question or if it's going to be a cool experience or story, comment on the show. You just don't know. Do you guys remember? I'm trying to think exactly the circumstances, but one night, it was a Fader night, and I think it was Beth when the tree fell on her house. Do you guys remember that? The tree, she had the storm, and it smashed her house apart, and she called in, and I thought she was at a bar. Do you guys remember that? Because there was all this noise in the background. It was chainsaws, actually. And I said, are you at a bar? She said, no, a tree just fell on my house. They're cutting it apart. Do you guys remember that? And I just wanted to call in and just, hang out with you guys. I'm just kind of bummed right now. That's what is special about Fader Night. You just never know about what's going to happen. It's a suspenseful type of evening. Support yourself. Support the show. Support our sponsors. Life Change Tea. Ronnie McMullen is going to be in here on Monday. And, of course, he is the owner and runs Life Change Tea. GetTheTea.com. He's going to be in here on Monday. Just go to Get the Tea. Click on the banner over at Jimmy Church Radio. Very simple. Use the promo code Jimmy. Whether you call in or order online, use the promo code Jimmy. You're going to get free shipping on your order. My recommendation, and this is what I would do, go straight to the specials page. It's full. Just go and do it. And I have been doing the liquid delivery of colostrum LD. I was going to take a picture of the package today. It got away from me at some point. But that's what I've been doing with the liquid version of Moringa, which you take with an eyedropper. Both extremely delicious and addictive, and it's just amazing how it has changed my life. So change yours right now. GetTheTea.com. Also, Studio Dome, their stereo, true wireless stereo Bluetooth technology package is just $129. Full high-fidelity stereo system. Get your Van Halen on and take it anywhere you need to go. What we do, seriously, we cook out on the back patio over at the house. That's what we do. We've got a high-fidelity stereo system that is there. You go to the beach. You whip it out. I told you a couple of weeks ago, we were on location shooting, and the camera guy, never call him camera guy, the cinematographer, right, whips out his system there, and I went up, and everybody was dancing. I thought, that's very cool. And that's exactly what you can do. Change the mood of wherever you are at. Just whip it out. This comes in a hard shell case, $129, including all of the power cables that you need, 2 speakers, everything. Portable, hi-fi system. Use the promo code JCRTWS when you order. You're going to get free shipping, 60% off the normal price of $399. And the whole thing, just $129 right now, just for the Fadernauts. Well, it's here. Contact in the Desert. This will be, that's our last broadcast this week is tonight. And then, of course, tomorrow night's Coast to Coast. And we're going to do 3 shows next week. And Thursday night will be a repeat. Thursday night, we will be in Joshua Tree proper. That's it. A week from tonight, we will be in Joshua Tree. Really looking forward to it. Giorgio is going to be on with us here in a few short minutes. He's going to be there. Graham Hancock, Robert Bivall, David Wilcock, Von Daniken, Nori, Mars, Childress, Danny Sheehan, Linda Moulton Howe, Mike Bear, Laura Eisenhower. I can just go on it. Last night, Melinda Leslie was with us. She's going to be there with her night vision equipment. 40 other speakers. Contact in the Desert next week. Still some tickets available. Go and click on the links over at jimmychurchradio.com. There you go. Roswell Festival is a month later, June 30th through July 3rd, Roswell, New Mexico. And then the Awareness Life Expo up at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Sacramento, California. Again, all of the links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Just go to the appearance section right there. And everything you need is there. Tickets, hotels, and accommodations. Today, let's get this show cracking, because today, Lenny Kravitz is 52. Helen Bonham Carter is 50. Matt Stone, man, he's only 45. When, that was 1995 when I first saw the first video of South Park, the Jesus and the ice skating video, Jesus versus Santa Claus. 1995, it's 20 years ago. So he was 25 when he did that. And he's a friggin' billionaire today. Unbelievable. Pam Grier is 67. Hank Williams Jr. today is 67. Pam Grier looks great. Hank Williams is tall up. Our dead guy's birthday today is, moment of silence, Miles Davis. There you go. Moment of silence. 1926 to 1991. Died at the age of 65. And that deserves another moment of silence. Get choked up. Miles Davis. Jazz trumpeter, composer, who broke all the rules. He did. He received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1990 and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006, 15 years after his death. His album, Kind of Blue, which I listened to today in its entirety, was released in 1959 and was voted as a national treasure by the House of Representatives in 2009 on its 50th anniversary. And I did, man. I went through a really cool Miles Davis day today. Jeez, my knees. Sketches of Spain. Oh, I'm not even sure which is better. Kind of Blue or Sketches of two, and Bitches Brew, right? 3 completely different records. Bitches Brew is so far off to the right or to the left you couldn't even see it anymore. Total, I mean, and then, you know, Kind of Blue, which just took jazz and that sound of his, you know, and elevated it. But Sketches of Spain, which was a little bit more traditional in its roots and was much older too, by the way. But Sketches of Spain, him as a band leader and the way that was orchestrated, to me, might be the eeriest, the one that just, man, will take you to another place. But they all do. Miles Davis changed my life. Happy birthday, Miles Davis. On this day in history, 1897, the first copies of Dracula by Bram Stoker appear in London bookshops. Yeah, that's right. On this day in 1897. Fader fact. The total amount of money owed by every single person in every country in the world is $199 trillion. But the world and everything in it only has $80.9 trillion in cash and bank deposits. Somebody want to tell me there's not a conspiracy? Go and figure that one out. $199 trillion in debt, but we only got $80 trillion in cash. Oh, goodness gracious. Tonight's Fader Night. Giorgio Tsoukalos is with us. Call-in numbers 323-825-5045. We're going to be taking your calls all night long. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be sitting in for George over at C2C, and my guest will be Dr. Stephen Greer. I was talking last night, and it was kind of weird because I decided to turn the rant into a two-parter. Yeah, I can do that. It's my show. And I was talking about skeptics and conspiracies. And to reset what I was talking about last night, this is what skeptics will do, is they take a conspiracy, right? And they'll take whatever the popular version of the story is, right? The one that the media feeds you, or whoever is the conspirator, their version of the story, right? And I used that example last night of JFK, you know, the magic bullet, right? And that's what happened. Connolly, the bullet ricochets off his ribs, a couple of femurs, goes off his arm, his leg, his toe, hits the dashboard, exits the car, comes back in the car, pops up, hits an airplane, comes back down, and happens to kill Kennedy, right? Ricocheted for 45 seconds and then kill Kennedy. And then that they find the bullet, remember, on a gurney, right? Oh, there it is. Like, yeah, right. Stop. Well, anyway, but a skeptic will say, well, yeah, that's exactly how it happened. That right there. Right. And then they end up supporting and propping up the BS side of it because they never develop anything to counter off of the conspiracy and whatever that theory is. They won't do it. And it's upsetting. In fact, it's common for Shermerites, other skeptics, to pick the fringe conspiracy side, the fringes of whatever the conspiracy theory is, and make fun of that. Whatever it is, the way whacked out thing. Like with 9/11, right? They'll focus on something like nuclear weapons and holographic planes. But they won't talk about the fundamental issues of the conspiracy side of maybe Washington knew in advance. Maybe Saudi Arabia knew in advance. That's a conspiracy of a lot of people, too, by the way. But they don't address that. They'll go way outside. And this, in turn, their goal is to make all conspiracies on any subject matter look crazy. And it's a very frustrating thing to see happen, but it's their MOD. It's their method, and they do it every time. His Skeptics magazine and Popular Mechanics, among any others, did this exact thing with 9/11. They picked the fringe, the highly improbable points, only to try to make us look nuts. And they make that the last word with conspiracy theories. It's their job. See, it wasn't, thermal nuclear tactical nukes. It wasn't that. It was just Bin Laden and 22 dudes. That's what they do. And they just make it seem like it's the nuttiest thing ever and you can't consider it. It's also not surprising to see so many people on the internet writing about conspiracy theories who usually use these words like Kool-Aid, crackpot, nut job. I remember when we released the original story on the Malibu underwater base. Kool-Aid, crackpot, or nut job, that's why I use these three words, were in anybody that responded to it, those were the words that they used. When we were simply talking about something strange under the water. That's all. That's all. Not anything that we generated. We didn't make it up. It was there, and it was presented by Google Earth. That's all. We just wondered what it was. Yeah, called it an alien base. Sounded cool. Could be anything. But because of that, we're crackpots, nut jobs. It is employed so often with an quote-unquote expert who will say something along the lines of, oh man, where's my brain? For these conspiracies to be true, you need hundreds, if not thousands of people to be involved. It's just not possible. It's just not conceivable. Can't happen. Too many people would have to be involved. Right? Wrong. The fact remains that there have been conspiracies in our world, in the United States, all over the place, proven, not made up, that involved many hundreds of people. It's not a matter of opinion. It's not me. It's a matter of fact. It irritates me when they take that position. Some of the greatest discoveries of all time were initially received as insanity, blasphemous, conspiracy, hearsay theories. Some of the biggest, greatest, like the Earth was not at the center of the universe. Let's pop that one out. And when that came out, that was a conspiracy. It was. Think about that. How about, let's go there right now. Or that the earth was not flat, but actually round. Remember those days? If you go back and actually think about the fear and the mystery of the oceans, and when you're sitting on a shoreline anywhere, pick a country, and you're looking out and you're wondering what's over that edge, right? And the mental pictures and the conversations and the ideas and the theories that were going around were all valid. You know, it's a cliff. It's a waterfall. Take your ship out there, your boat, you swim, you fall, you die. You know, and that's it. Because the earth was flat. And because the courageous wouldn't do it, that's it, man. They sail out. You keep the shoreline in view, right? You keep going, you just don't know. But eventually somebody did. And then came back and said, hey, you know, we could have kept going. I think the earth is round. Oh, that's blasphemy. Off with his head. Throw him in the fire. Yeah. And now, today, we're back on the opposite conspiracy theory on those. It's kind of funny, but whatever. That after everything that had to be done to prove that the earth wasn't at the center of the universe and actually went around the sun, it went around the sun. Everything, the people that died and went to prison and ridiculed and tortured, everything that science went through and put everything on the line. And then to move on and get past the earth is not flat, it's round, this is what's going on, and everything that was involved with that, right? Everything that was involved. Now, here we are in 2016, that the earth is actually flat, and the sun, we don't go around the sun, and oh, my goodness gracious. And we're right back there. And the movement that is going on today, I had a long conversation with somebody about this today. We were just totally laughing about it. And this person goes, so dude, you're not suggesting that. No, man, my feet are on a round planet right now. It's a globe, okay? All right, we're cool, right? Yeah, we are very cool. You don't got to worry about that. But the discussion of how this has taken off and has actually gone somewhere is fascinating. Now, this is honestly what I think. Anybody out there who calls themselves a flat earther, a leader of the movement, maybe they've got a website and they're producing videos, they know the earth is round. Okay? They're playing with you. They know the earth is round. They know it. They just want to have some fun, and they want to be challenged, and they want to have their intelligence challenged, and they want to go into a debate for sport, which is fine. And that's the intention here. They know the earth is round. Every single flat earther is just doing this for sport. They are one step away from being a troll. All they want to do is cause a debate. And they just want to challenge your intelligence and see if they can outmaneuver you in a debate. That's all. They're just trying to challenge you. But they know the earth is round. But here we are today. I'm telling you right now. I'm just telling you. Every flat earther, every single one knows the earth is round. Okay? They don't believe it. They don't believe the earth is flat. This conversation today actually went something like this. But Jimmy, what about all of the satellite imagery and everything coming from the International Space Station and Apollo and Gemini and satellites and all of the photography and everything that was taken. What about all of that? I mean, there's millions and millions. I said, I know. They're all fake. They can't. What do you mean? Every single image, every single video, every single thing, everything that's ever been done has been faked? That's what they say. I said, that's what they say. It's either CGI or it's a curved lens or a curved window that you're looking at. Because that's the stupidest thing ever. Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, trust me. Any flat earther, when it comes to this and a conspiracy. Now, so back to my point. The amount of people that it takes to get involved in a conspiracy is enormous. It's enormous. Now, a conspiracy to commit a crime, 2 people, that's 2 people. 3 people. You're going to go and rob a bank and there's 3 of you. Yeah, you guys are going to conspire to rob a bank together. That's not what I'm referring to. Somebody to perpetrate a hoax in the intent of causing, and that's the pop culture definition of conspiracy, then you're talking about a lot of people. And is it possible to pull it off? Sure. Happens all the time. And I don't need to bring up the Iraq War #1, Iraq War #2, or the invasion of Libya, or the Gulf of Tonkin, or JFK, or 9/11. I don't need to bring up any of those. And just think about how many people were involved to keep it secret. Some of it got exposed. Didn't happen. Didn't work the way that they wanted. So don't say that a lie can be perpetrated because there's too many people involved. There are so many cases. Karen Silkwood. There's a conspiracy that nobody talks about. Here she was, a nuclear waste a nuclear worker, right? Head of her union that started to get poisoned and had plutonium all over her clothes and in her lungs and outside and inside surfaces when she wasn't exposed to anything. It was in her house. And then what happens? She just happens to fall asleep while driving. Drives off the road and hits a tree. Nobody talks about that. And that's what I'm talking about. Man, I love it. King of conspiracy. I'll wear the crown any day. I'm right there with you. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. When I come back after the break, Giorgio Tsoukalos is going to be right here. This is Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Tonight's Fader Night, 323-825-5045. Not going to take calls with Giorgio, so just be patient. We'll be taking your calls right after that. As soon as we come back after the break, Giorgio Tsoukalos. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I got to tell you, it was a relief. National Tax Experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. It doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil 3-letter. So, seriously, Give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
Health in America is becoming a top priority. Or maybe I should say, good health in the world is becoming a top priority. Maintaining a healthy body can be challenging. How about letting Life Change Tea help you? Our tea you make, you drink, and you benefit. Our unique blend of 8 different herbs helps you maintain good digestion, a healthy colon, and detoxes harmful toxins and parasites out of your body. And you know what? It tastes great. If you're wanting a change, a life change when it comes to health, log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. When you log on to our mobile-friendly website, you can read all the numerous testimonies of how Life Change Tea has helped so many people. We carry many, many beneficial products that help your health and keep you on track. Getthetea.com. Kind of gets in your head, doesn't it? Getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Klutsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fader-Knots rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your oh-so-humble host, Jimmy Church. What's cracking, everybody? Tonight, Giorgio Tsoukalos is here. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be over at Coast to Coast AM, sitting in for George. And my guest tonight is Dr. Stephen Greer. But tonight, Giorgio is with us. And we all know he is the star and consulting producer of Ancient Aliens. But it goes way beyond that, certainly for me personally, too, as well. He is changing the way the world thinks about ancient astronaut theory. For over 16 years, he has been the director of the Eric von Daniken's Center for Ancient Astronaut Research. As the world's leading ancient astronaut expert, he has starred and appeared on the History Channel, the Travel Channel, National Geographic Channel, Sci-Fi Channel, Fade to Black, Coast to Coast, and many other international television and radio programs reporting about the latest discoveries in the ancient astronaut field. His website, go there right now, legendarytimesbooks.com. I'd like to welcome back to Fade to Black our good friend, Giorgio Tsoukalos. Giorgio, good evening, man.
Jimmy and my lovely Fader-Knots, so great to be back. How are you guys doing?
Great to hear your voice, Giorgio. We're going to be hanging out in 7 short days out at Contact in the Desert. I can't believe another year has gone by. It's going to be good times out there.
Absolutely, and the lineup this year is absolutely stellar. Looking forward to the event very much because we've got speakers this year that so far haven't spoken there. For example, we've got Robert Bauval, David Childress, Graham Hancock, all individuals that haven't spoken there before, and we have many other additions such as Whitley Strieber and Louis Navis. Stanton Friedman will be there. It's promising to be an incredible event. So I think this is year number 4.
Yes, and Walter Cruttenton's going to be hanging out, man. I mean, you know.
Yes, as well, and our good friend Jason Martell will be returning.
Yep.
This is really, I mean, the USA Today called it the Woodstock of UFOs, and guess what? They're right.
You know what's funny? When they ran that headline last year, and they did the thing, USA Today, on the cover story. So I'm looking at the cover, right? I'm like, something strange about this picture. And it's of me, right? Now,
really? Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Well, neither did I, because the guy in the picture was too fat to be me, right? So, but and it was a crowd of people, but it was a side view, but it was my watch. I went, oh, wait. It was just really funny how you don't see yourself. I see myself as a skinny, good-looking guy, not some pasty, overweight white guy. But yeah, they really did great coverage on that last year, and they'll be there again this year, and that's what this has turned into. And unless you've been there, everybody, you really don't have any idea about what kind of dynamic event this has turned into.
And what's really cool too is that they've got this area called Vendor Village, where there's a whole bunch of booths set up where people set up their wares and products and things like that. So it's an all-around really cool weekend, and the vibe too, as I'm sure you know, is truly extraordinary.
Now, I want to talk about your journey for a second, because you and I met, now put your memory hat on, you and I met back in 2008 at MUFON in the Valley, season 1 of Ancient Aliens. It had just started to air, and you came out to MUFON to speak. And it was the very beginning of everything. And here we are, 2016, where Ancient Aliens is now pop culture. You've now done a commercial on the frigging Super Bowl. Awareness is at its peak. Did you have any idea back then in 2008 that you would have gone on this kind of journey?
Not at all. And the thing that you referred to as a journey, I call being put in a cannon and shot into space.
Yeah, right.
That is how this whole journey has been for me. While it has been incredible, at the same time, the outpouring of support that we have received for Ancient Aliens, no one has predicted that at all. In fact, Ancient Aliens has sort of started on a dare where, 40 years ago, Chariots of the Gods, this guy, Eric von Daniken, is he still alive? What happened to Chariots of the Gods? Let's do something. 40 years, Chariots of the Gods. And later, and this is how how this whole thing came about, where we were approached with the idea of creating a love letter to Chariots of the Gods 40 years later. And that 1 2-hour documentary that we did was so successful, it preempted all other previous programming on weeks on end, where people called in and asked for this show to be re-aired and things like that. And this was in March of 2009, actually. And in 2010 is when we started to produce the first season. And, it's just been an incredible journey. And I have to say that none of this would have been possible without the love that the fans have for Ancient Aliens.
Do you think it must have been that, well, it's always about timing in Hollywood, right? So it was that, but that there was a huge audience out there that needed this. The timing is one thing, but they needed this right now. The fans, the researchers, the armchair quarterbacks, they were always there. And then finally they got that vehicle to drive. Do you think that was it?
That could be possible, that there was some sort of a vacuum and it satisfied a need. I mean, to me, I really think that Ancient Aliens is one of the most important television shows that has ever aired on television, bar none, worldwide, not just the United States, because for the first time ever, we are asking questions and giving potential answers without having the perennial skeptic saying, well, this is great, but you're wrong. Where on multiple occasions in the course of history, skeptics and debunkers have turned out to be wrong, that their accepted worldviews turned out to be false. And, I'm not referring to 2 + 2 = 4. Obviously, that will always remain the same. But there are other cases that we can point to throughout our history where many things that have been accepted knowledge had to change because over time people learned that things sometimes seem or are they are different than they seem.
Now, this is between you and I as friends, okay? Is there?
And there's nobody. There's nobody listening, right?
right. It's just you and I. Is there a zone or a subject matter that you guys won't go into? Because if there is one criticism that you've heard over and over again, is that you can apply ancient alien theory to anything, and that sometimes you guys take it too far.
Of course, and the meme obviously didn't help the situation either. And to me, it's always fascinating to see how some people can and some people cannot distinguish between a meme and reality, or some people don't seem to be able to distinguish between a question and a statement of fact. And a lot of the narration in Ancient Aliens is in the form of a question, and only people like Eric von Daniken, Childress, and I, or in Martel, would bring it home with a potential ancient alien connection. But as I'm speaking to you here right now, and this this is coming from the horse's mouth right now, not everything has to do with aliens. That's the meme. But personally, I think there are almost clear demarcation points with what I think had to do with flesh and blood extraterrestrials, and things that had nothing to do with that. For example, I never said that the pyramids were built by aliens. That's complete nonsense. Of course, our ancestors built the nonsense. Yeah, of course, our ancestors built the pyramids, but according to the ancient texts that we can read, it says that the knowledge imparted for these structures was given or was imparted by deities descending from the sky. And I think that we simply need to exchange the word deity or gods with extraterrestrials, because there are no real deities and no real gods, because they were all misinterpreted space travelers, because our ancestors couldn't understand, due to their primitive technological frame of reference, the advanced technologies that they witnessed right in front of them.
Well, I agree with you, though. They built the nonsense, too. No
we're
question about
building
that.
It today.
Yeah, no doubt.
With everything that's going on worldwide. But so, I really think that, if anything, Ancient Aliens asks questions, and I find it very disturbing that asking questions is looked down upon these days, because especially in the last 4 or 5 months, things have been discovered in astronomy and in astrophysics that we've been told they cannot exist, or we're just theorizing about it and we don't know. What about that weird structure that they're observing in the middle of space with these weird light variations and things like this, where 2 scientists only 2 days ago said that the comet theory, that comets are diminishing the light as comets pass in front of that star, that this is the reason why we have these fluctuations in light, that those calculations are false. So we're back to the drawing board wondering, what is that? What is that structure out there? What's going on? Why are these fluctuations? Then the other thing that's really cool was that discovery of perhaps another planet in our solar system that we've been told that's impossible. Now, what are our ancestors talking about? They're talking about another planet in our solar system. So could this have been, or is this, or was this, the discovery of Planet X? Because if Pluto is still a planet, well, then all of a sudden we would have 10 planets in our solar system with this discovery. So all of a sudden these stories of Planet X, or Nibiru, that we find in our ancient mythologies and legends, all of a sudden become true.
I was reading the other day. I read this article that was in one of the scientific journals, right? And I'm reading it. And I had John Lear on the show. You know, we all love John. He was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he said, you know, that there's 40 planets in our solar system. They're just not telling us about it, right? And okay, great, fun show. We're listening to you, you know, John, and our ears are open. And then a couple of days ago, I'm reading in this journal, and this astronomer literally said, you know, we have no idea how many planets are in the solar system, actually. You know, we could see that number go up to 20 or even higher. And
that's fantastic. You know, I had no idea. That's great. That's fantastic.
Exactly. I'm reading that, and my eyes about popped out of my head. You know, we don't know everything. And that's really why not only shows like Ancient Aliens, but those in the, well, they're called alternative, you know, which is just wrong. It's just because they're not mainstream, right? But the awareness that everybody has brought forward, like Bavall and Hancock, that have the courage to go and do that, are causing mainstream to go back and reevaluate, because they know that the masses out there aren't buying the status quo anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here's the thing, that to me, what I find so fascinating is that, you know, these topics that we talk about, how is it that they are so insulting to, you know, what I almost would like to say a great majority of mankind? Because to me, you see, all of us are a product of our upbringing, and I may have mentioned this on this show before, and this is a very important point, and I bring it up in almost every interview. We are a product of our upbringing. All of us are who we are today due to our parents and to our educators. So we inherently, as a species, have always needed or are in need of teachers if we don't know something. If you don't know something, you go to an expert. If you don't know something here, if you don't know how to fix your car, you go to a mechanic. You're not going to go to a farmer unless that farmer knows how to fix a car. But so there's all these specific ideas of where we have to go. And, you know, to me, this whole idea, and I've completely lost my train of thought because somebody just walked in. So can you please remind me again what I was saying?
Teachers, we are taught. Teachers, we are taught.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So imagine for a moment that had we, because people are always saying, well, if you incorporate aliens, that somehow undermines human ingenuity. And it really doesn't, because we as a species need teachers. So human ingenuity in that sense only exists after we are given the tools with which to achieve something or with which to create something. And so the idea that a long time ago we have been given intelligence, that extraterrestrials brought us culture, these were all the basics with which we then achieved the civilization, the magnificent civilization that we are today. But it didn't originate in a vacuum. It's the same as if 500 years from now, we as a human species will arrive on a distant planet and we see that there's potentially intelligent life on there, but that intelligent life is a bit primitive, technologically speaking. So what will we do? Are we going to teach them how to make fire? Are we going to teach them how to make shelter? Are we going to teach them, you know, how to tend their fields and you know, use agriculture for survival and things like this? Of course we will. So the idea that we will be and I have a problem that I don't think that we will be the first. I think that's happened. We will do that ultimately somewhere in the future. But what I am suggesting, what we will do in the future, has already happened on Earth and is a perennial thing going on throughout the entire galaxy, if not the universe, of the spreading of life.
It has
and
to.
If it's not,
it has to. It has to happen that way. And I want to go back and address exactly what you just said here. The most important thing that we are starting to realize now as a collective is that everything is taught. Steve Jobs didn't invent the iPhone, right? He didn't. He had, the information to move forward with an idea, right? Everything is taught. Everything that we know is taught. And to think or to try to accept that Stone Age man was walking through Egypt one day and said, hey, you know what? Let's level out 18 hectares right here, perfectly level. I got this idea, right? It just doesn't work that way. Somebody taught them about what true north was, what east and west was, how to level, how to do that, and it's okay. And with that idea, once we accept that, Giorgio, and you're so right, you and ancient astronaut theorists were given a gift with Göbekli Tepe. Because, and what I mean is that's 7,000 years older, and it wasn't supposed to exist. That culture, that 7,000 years is a long time.
12.
No, I'm talking about behind the pyramids.
Yes, of course.
The pyramids were supposed to be the beginning of everything, and then boom, here you have Göbekli Tepe, a couple of 100 miles to the north. It wasn't supposed to exist. And that has got to cause historians and archaeologists to step back and go, you know what, maybe something is going on. Somebody is teaching somebody something somewhere.
Well, I just think it's odd that it is so hard to believe that, look, see, here's another thing that I may or may not have mentioned on the show, but I'm willing to say this, that, colleagues like Graham Hancock, he says that he has absolutely no need for extraterrestrials and things like that. And you know what? I completely accept his position. And I have no idea why he has his panties in a bunch so much against the Ancient Alien show and things like that. It's a bit bizarre, in my opinion, because we're all in the same boat. And there's tremendous love for Graham Hancock's work. And, this infighting that goes on or that he's instigating about, that ancient astronaut theory is wrong and it's not needed and this and that. Well, I always thought that the investigations are an invitation for questions and exploration. And so, but if it turns out that our Earth past does not involve extraterrestrials, I'll be the first one to admit, okay, I was wrong. But here's the thing, that I've read all of Hancock's books, and the argument that is said that it was all human beings and they had no interaction with extraterrestrials, in my opinion, falls short, because our ancestors never said, when they wrote about these beings that visited them, when they asked them, where do you come from? They never said, we come from across the mountain range or from across the ocean or something like this. They always pointed to the sky.
Right.
And so, but this is the point I'm trying to make, is that we're all trying to work towards a similar goal, or the same goal, basically, saying that whatever may have happened, the past is different than what we're being told. And whether that involves extraterrestrials or not, at some point, I don't care. All I know is that our past it was different. But so far, I have not received a single piece of evidence that would dissuade me from the opinion that everything points towards an actual points to physical visitations by ETs in our remote past. And I'm convinced that that's what happened.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And with that, I have to ask you again directly: what would it take to sway the masses? What would be the one thing that you would be able to go, okay, now check this out. Can we move on? What would that one piece of evidence be for you, if you could create it?
Wow. Well, that's a difficult question, but I always say, because look, there's always going to be the person where it can be in your face, and then they're going to be, is this really happening right now? So look, if it were some type of a mass sighting that is seen by ultimately 50,000 people, for example, with Fatima back in 1916, where the first couple of sightings the first sighting was only seen by 3 kids, then it was more, and then by the third sighting, an excess of 50,000 people in Portugal saw this apparition that some have suggested was a UFO encounter. So I think that a mass encounter of or a mass report, a mass sighting of some type of a flying craft, and not a blurry cell phone video.
Right.
For example, did you hear about that thing, that flying or floating city up in the clouds in China?
Yep.
I mean, that's weird. But one has to raise the question immediately, what is the source of that video? Yes, it was shown on national TV in China, but was it the product of a bored 19-year-old CGI artist? Because it's 2016, and we can do these things on a small scale, meaning on the computer screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Well, what if some papyrus or wall carving was unearthed in Egypt, let's say, where they definitively said, hey, they came from the stars, they came down in a ship, here's what it looked like, and we sat down and their teachers taught us. What if something like that happened?
Okay, well, then I have to tell you that stuff already exists, because making all the correlations and drawing all the connections between all these different pieces of evidence, for example, many of our ancient structures have been built specifically with constellations in mind. And some of those structures are megalithic in scope, meaning that some of the stone blocks that have been used to build these structures begin at 2 to 3 tons and upwards to 30, 40, and sometimes even 50-ton blocks were used in some structures. And then they have been also built in reference to, like I said, constellations. And in my opinion, or what the ancient astronaut theory suggests, is that those structures were nothing else but calling cards for future generations for them to figure out that if a intelligent species comes into existence, no matter if they are the most amazing geniuses ever to live or not, it's impossible for a culture to not have an evolution in technology. You have to start somewhere. You have to start small, and then you improve your technique, and ultimately you end up building something gigantic and magnificent. And in our past, it's the exact opposite. The further you go back in history, the more massive and the more magnificent and precise some of our ancient structures are. And one has to wonder how that was possible. And in my opinion, the only answer to that is that we've had help. And that help was not, human beings from the future, but that was extraterrestrials.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The best stuff, the biggest stuff, is the oldest stuff. It's bizarre. Let's jump into a break right here, Giorgio, and we'll be right back. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Giorgio Tsoukalos, Ancient Aliens. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Twitter is @jchurchradio. You can follow Giorgio, by the way, @Tsoukalos. And he is hanging out with us right now on Twitter, too, by the way. We'll be right back. Stay right there.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. Jimmy Church on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of this product.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
To order your 2-month supply, call now toll-free 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Imagine no longer being tied down to your computer, but having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application. The talk shows you follow now follow you, and your iPhone is now the fastest and easiest way to stay connected to the best talk radio on the internet. Let TalkStream Live transform the way you listen to radio. Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mobile talk radio from TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Fader Night Thursday nights. Very special guest tonight, Giorgio Tsoukalos. And tomorrow night, I'll be over at Coast to Coast AM sitting in for George Norrie. My guest will be Dr. Stephen Greer. Giorgio, now I wanted to run this by you. My favorite moment, and there's been many, of Ancient Aliens over the years, I go all the way back to like episode 1, the famous Punku segment. Now, mentioning that, it left such a mark on me, and I had rewound it and replayed it so many times. I thought it was so significant. And then I was hanging out with Michio Kaku, right? And I turned to Michio, and I go, dude, have you seen the show Ancient Aliens? No, I haven't. I said, you need to check it out, because they've got this thing in there about Puma Punku, and it could be like 15,000 years old. Impossible. I said, well, no, hear me out.
You know, and I went through the whole thing with him, and he goes, "No, you know what? Ice Age, 10,000 years ago, nothing before that, and they can't age rock. There's just." I said, "What about an astrological alignment? Maybe, you know, they dated it that." No, it's just, and he just cut me off, you know. And I thought that he was going to be open-minded and want to hear about this and go and check it out for himself. Totally poo-pooed the idea. And is mainstream, not only science and history and physicists and archaeologists, are they so bent on the written record that they just don't want to challenge it, or is it because they don't want to embarrass themselves? Why? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I've thought about this for a very long time, and first of all, I have to say that Michio Kaku actually appeared on at a legendary Times AASRA conference in Switzerland in 2003. So he is open to the idea. However, as many scientists, they have to maintain the status quo. And what has come to, for example, with Michio Kaku, he's very open-minded with the idea of extraterrestrial life, and that he has in fact said, and I've quoted him on this on multiple occasions, where he says that it is the height of human arrogance to say that we're alone in the universe. Now, obviously, the place where we differentiate an opinion is whether or not this life has visited here. But I remember in 2003 that he was open to the idea. And we all know that people change, so there could have been a change of heart. But, you know, so I don't want to necessarily, you know, stay or harp on Dr. Kaku because he's a lovely guy.
He's great.
I think it's a completely different answer, and that is that most of these people have not taken the time to study or to look at the evidence. And right there, a whole bunch of debunkers will be like, well, but there is no evidence. Yes, to you maybe, but to a whole bunch of other people, that evidence that we talk about is paramount. And just because you don't think, or because you think that gray andesite can be cut with copper tools, well, that doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right at all, in fact. And so I've met many of these people that publicly try to debunk the ancient astronaut theory, and it turns out that most of these people don't know the theory, don't know the things that we talk about, and then when they do, they always say, the Nazca lines, well, it was not an airport and no landing strips and blah. Guess what? I, or Eric von Daniken, or David Childress, we've never claimed that Nazca was an airport. In fact, it wouldn't even work. It's sand. Whatever lands there would sink straight into the into the sand. So, or that we said that, you know, something or that the pyramids were built by aliens. We've never done this stuff. So it seems to me that there is a predetermined judgment that, oh, this is ridiculous, we're not even going to look at that. And you know what, Jimmy, and all the Fadernauts out there, that's fine, because there's absolutely nothing you can do about having people accept the ideas that we're talking about, because you have to be ready. All of us listening, all of us participating right now had a moment or this hunch, and all of a sudden you have to be ready. Otherwise, you might as well talk to a wall. Yeah,
and for me, I'm not ragging on Michio because he's great. He's been a guest on this show.
And I'm not. I was not implying that you did. Of course not. Of course not.
But what I'm referring to is, I thought here I've got one of the great physicists, you know, somebody with an open mind, and I've listened to his presentations on this, but I thought it was going to be the opposite, where he was going to go, wow, that's interesting, I need to look into that. Instead, you know, it was an example to me of the science community absolutely just close ears, you know, and didn't want to move forward with it at all. And that's what was surprising to me.
Well, see, what's fascinating is that, people like Michio Kaku are actually, in my opinion, they're wonderful allies of us, whether they want it or not. And I really don't care.
Right.
But here's the thing. That I read all of Dr. Kaku's books; they're fantastic, and the things that he talks about are so incredible. In fact, one of his lectures, he said that if you were to show an iPad to your great 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 grandmother, you would be a magician. And so that type of statement is the exact same statement that I would apply to the ancient astronaut theory 10 or 5,000 years ago, that our ancestors were quote-unquote visited by what they thought were gods or magicians because they had access, or those visitors had access to technology that completely superseded the technological frame of reference and understanding of our ancestors. So right there, those are concepts and ideas that can be applied to our past, which, by the way, it's referred to as cargo cult. It's cargo cult behavior.
Yes.
So I think it's merely the fact that it's predetermined judgment that this cannot be possible, so we're not going to look at it. And that, to me, is I'm sorry, it's unscientific. But I cannot blame any of those people because, hey, they're all employed by universities. So, it's all necessity in a weird way of, what can you say, what can you not say to keep the status quo, because we all know what happened to Dr. John Mack.
Right.
I mean, he was chided for many, many months, and then his life ended way too early.
Yeah, he was taken out. So I just, Pumu Punku, going back to season 1, is one of the seminal moments for me. Now that you can look back at, 10, 11, I've lost count now accurately what season you guys are on. But looking back, what's your favorite moment on Ancient Aliens?
The inability to answer the question right there should illustrate the wild ride it's been, and I wouldn't even know where to begin with that answer, because there are so many elements that have been tremendous and so many different pieces of information that I've learned, that overall my appreciation for the unknown has increased triple, quadruple. It has increased exponentially. Because throughout those, now I think we have over 100 episodes. Those 100 episodes have taught me that there truly are things for which there are no explanations. And whether or not these answers ultimately involve aliens, those are the questions that we're asking right now. So I think it's a wonderful exploration.
And I've got to ask you about Robert Clotworthy, because here he has, in the very strange way, he's the fifth Beatle, isn't he?
No, yeah, well, yes, but I mean, he is part of the giant, he's part of the cast. I mean, he is definitely an integral part of our cast. And Robert, I mean, his voice alone makes the show, I think. So yes, he is the fifth Beatle. Yes.
And how is his knowledge?
But he is he is known. We can, in this case, we can actually identify the fifth Beatle, because you know how there's multiple stories who the fifth Beatle really is.
Right. And how's Robert's knowledge of ancient alien theory before he came in to do all of the narration on the series? Of course, was he a fan, or is he a fan now?
He is certainly a fan now, and I know that whenever I see Robert, he always tells me that whenever he sees on his calendar that there's an Ancient Aliens read coming up in his work week, then he is always very excited. And so is he an expert? No, he narrates. However, he has an interesting connection to spaceships, and that is he also is the voice actor of a famous internet or online game, StarCraft, I think it is. It's a video game, and he plays the main character.
Yeah, Jim Raynor.
Yes, exactly. And so he's got a huge following in that world. And now we're in Ancient Aliens, so it's a great combination, you know.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a couple of sites around the world, and one of them is the stone circles in South Africa. It started off that there was hundreds and then thousands, and now it appears to be millions. What's going on with those? What do you think?
Yeah, that is something that my friend Michael Tellinger talks about, and he calls it the Adam's calendar, where in South Africa he discovered these weird stone structures that, seen from the air, they look like clovers, and sometimes they're round, and they look like buildings, or they're at least the outlines of some buildings. And they're sort of rounded, but there are no doors and no entrances, and there's no rhyme or reason to them, except that there are literally, I cannot name how many there are because I have not checked this number myself. But anyone who is interested in this weird thing, check out Michael Tellinger's stuff.
Yeah, it's weird for me. It's the significance of how many there are is what's key here. It's not really what they are, because it would have taken a lot of people a very long time to do this. It goes back.
Yeah, and for what?
Yes.
You know, and one of the lectures that I attended with Michael, he mentioned that if they were edifices in which to hold cattle or sheep or something like that, then you would have to have openings in the walls. And by the way, they're not that. When I talk wall, we're not talking massive walls. We're talking walls that maybe reach to your hip or to your knees. So it's not in any way, shape, or form megalithic, but it's still very bizarre, especially if the alleged number of millions of these structures is correct.
I wanted to ask you also about the skull that you were holding in the recent picture that you sent me. Tell me about that skull, because it is really interesting, and also it looks to me that there's the lack of suture lines too as well.
Well, now for the future, you've given me the answer to a question if somebody else should ask this in the future. I've seen these elongated skulls worldwide behind glass in different display cases in different museums. In 2014, however, for the first time, I was able to not only see more of these skulls, but to actually interact with them without glass in between. So to actually examine them at the Paracas History Museum with Don Juan Navarro, who is the curator of that museum, who has since died, unfortunately. But that day will forever be one of the most significant days in my life, because seeing these skulls up close and personal, you could tell which skulls were the result of artificial head binding and which ones were not, because exactly what you just said, Jimmy, some have the sutures and some don't. And the ones that have the sutures, guess what? Those are the human skulls that have been elongated. And then there are the other ones where in those sections or those parts of our brain box where it should have these sutures, they're not there. They've disappeared. And even when people say, they've just ossified, they've grown together, that is untrue too, because even an ossified suture can be seen under a microscope or even with the naked eye. So I really think that what we have there may be the remnants of actual extraterrestrials, or at the least another human race.
Why or when, both are questions, why or when are we going to get some DNA results? Today I saw a couple of news releases out saying that the DNA results are out and that they are not human. Then I read another report directly out of Peru saying that no, they are not alien, but apparently the DNA results are out there. Have you caught those press releases over the last 24 hours?
Not the last 24 hours, but I'm familiar with these discussions about DNA testing. And what I find fascinating is that, each time that people say, well, it's not human, so it's something else, well, what is it? Does that mean, do we have an ET sample of DNA that we can test it against? Because what are we testing for? So that's always been my question, because in science, you have to have a sample with which you compare the chemical composition with what you have in front of you. So right there, that to me is very bizarre. But at the same time, what I find absolutely unacceptable is that the reason, or one of the reasons why there aren't more scientists interested in studying or forensically examining these elongated skulls is because of the way in which those or some of those skulls were procured, meaning that sometimes they were found in the middle of nowhere in Peru, and they were allegedly brought in by grave robbers, by grave looters, and things like that. And that while that may be the case, an elongated skull, I'm sorry, it supersedes the fact how the elongated skull was procured or found.
Right.
Because, yes, I disagree, and I think it's horrible that the tombs are being looted, and I do not advocate it, and it's awful. But many of these elongated skulls that have been displayed at the Paracas Museum, I've seen photos of the tombs where they were discovered, and oftentimes whoever got those skulls was very respectful about the site. So, just because the site was not uncovered by a university doesn't necessarily mean in this day and age that everybody is a complete idiot in excavation.
What's your favorite site? You're probably going to say Pumapunku, but
Yes, so end of story. It still is.
It still is,
Jimmy.
So Göbekli Tepe just hasn't achieved the number one status. It's still Pumapunku for you?
It is because another place that I will visit perhaps this year or at the latest next year is Gunung Padang. The only reason why in Indonesia, the only reason why Göbekli Tepe is not as interesting to me is because of the stone. There is no gray andesite. The only reason why Pumapunku to me is fascinating is because of the gray andesite. So that is the baffling mystery. How was gray andesite cut at such an altitude without any significant, high-tech tools?
I remember.
I
remember when, like I said, when you and I first met back at the MUFON meeting. I had yelled out from the crowd with my big boomy voice, and I scared the crap out of you. But I said, and I know you'll remember this, when you brought up Pumapunku and you were showing your slides, and I said, "Hey, man, were those stones in that position originally?" And you freaked out and looked at me like, who's this dude with the big loud voice, right? But your answer was an interesting one that has stuck with me, which is no, they were moved and they were put in this position. And I think that's significant. Why the site was disturbed is my point. Do you have any clue now, so many years later, the positioning of the stones or what they were used for and what the original alignment was on the site?
No, but what I can tell you is that since, and those pictures that I've shown in my slideshow, some of them I still show in my presentations because of the fact how things have changed from my previous visits to, let's say, visits to Pumapunku in 2014, where no, the stones that have been, let's say the picture I showed you was perhaps, let's say, from 1998 or also from the year 2000 or even one from 1994.
Right.
So now, though, everything has changed again. For example, there's this giant 60-ton platform that in my pictures, I can prove that platform was not only in a different position, but it was also sort of a bit slanted. Today, the slab has been rectified, so it's flat, and it's elsewhere. So, to me, what I find interesting is that at Pumapunku, and especially at Tiwanaku, there are places where you can tell by the way that the stones have been piled on top that it's incorrect because it doesn't line up according to the seam that sometimes was cut into the andesite rock, like a recessed line where the other wall or the other block should fit into and things like that. So
right.
It's easier to describe this visually or to show this visually instead of verbally. However, right there, those are pieces of evidence that show me that many archaeologists maybe did not play with Legos when they were little or later with Tetris or something like this, because there are certain things that are very clear where stones go, and that was not done in the reconstructions. And if you look at books that were written about Pumapunku and Teotihuacan way before, color photographs and things like that, where the first images of Pumapunku were all drawings, it looks nothing like Teotihuacan or Pumapunku today. It's all well, not all, but a lot of the stuff is a reconstruction, a putting together of something what the archaeologists thought this may have looked like. So this is something all of us have to keep in mind at all times when we look at these ancient sites as they are today, and always refer to the oldest of references to see whether or not what we see today is accurate. Because in the case of Teotihuacan, it is not.
Hey, Giorgio, we're at the end here, and I know you're busy. Gosh. Yeah, I know. And this is the thing. I know you're a busy guy. You want to hang on for a few minutes and take some phone calls? If you got stuff to do, I get it. But if you want... No,
you know what? I couldn't speak to Fader now last time, so this time, absolutely.
Okay, let's do that. And thank you for doing that last time. Well, this is what's crazy. We're all gearing up for Contact in the Desert, and I can't believe it's 7 days away, and we're just running out of time. We're scrambling here. I know you're doing the same thing. But the Fadernauts are going to love it. So let's just take a break, and I'll open up the phone lines, and we'll take some phone calls with Giorgio Tsoukalos. Giorgio, thank you for doing that for the Fadernauts, and we'll be back in 2 short minutes.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you know what's in your body soap? Well, I didn't know the answer until about 5 years ago when I looked at the label of my soap and was shocked to see all the chemicals. For my entire life, I had been assaulting the largest organ of my body, my skin, and to think my children were using it too. Well, a lot has changed since then. Today, my family and I operate Stone City Farms, where we make and sell all natural goat milk soap using fresh goat milk from goats we raise on our farm. Our mission at Stone City Farm is to produce high-quality, all-natural goat milk soap for people who want a fresh, unrefined, natural product. At Stone City Farms, we offer scented and unscented soaps and a signature line of gift sets customizable to your needs. To see what our customers are saying, go to StoneCityFarm.com. Use the code NATURAL for a 20% discount. That's StoneCityFarm.com, code NATURAL for 20% off your order. You never know what could be hiding in your soap.
Did you ever turn to your radio for your favorite talk show to find that it's been preempted for this?
In the air to deep right center. Back goes Lewis to the wall, and it's all here!
Or this?
And I'm ashamed of you and Hillary for voting for it.
Do you have a favorite talk radio program that's not available in your city? Just go to TalkStreamLive.com for links to the best streaming talk radio shows. At TalkStream Live, you will find live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All your favorites are here. With such a large selection, you will also discover some new favorites. On the go and still want to listen? With a mobile smartphone, simply type TalkStream Live on your internet browser. Now you can take internet radio with you. You will also find hundreds of music, news, and sports streams. Best of all, the TalkStream Live directory is free and there's never a login required. Remember TalkStreamLive.com, the fastest route between you and your favorite talk radio show.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back to Fade to Black. Tonight is Thursday night. It is Fader night. Open lines, 323-825-5045. Our very special guest tonight is Giorgio Tsoukalos. And after this conversation, he said, you know what, let's take some calls from the Fadernauts. So let's do that right now. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Giorgio.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Casey.
Hey, Casey.
Hello.
Say hi to Giorgio.
Hi, Giorgio. How are you?
Very well. How about you?
Yeah, wonderful. You know, I'm a very, very, very big fan of you. Sometimes even my wife, you know, she'll chase me because I'll mock like you know. Like I'll say, am I going to get any help from upstairs today for my food? I'm a very, very, very big fan of you. Okay, I want to make this call as quick as possible. What do you think? Do you know a person who was running for presidential primary? His name is Ben Carson.
Yes.
And he said that pyramid is meant for storing the grain.
A silo for storage, a grain storage for silo. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I got to thank your Ancient Alien show so much. I would have told everybody in my family, what is this pyramid, you know, all these things, and I asked them to watch the show, and it's not. And I got this education because of your show, and I'm very thankful for that. And
well, thank you for watching.
Oh, yeah, I'm a very big fan. I'll never miss that. I have two more quick things. What is your opinion on Bosnian pyramid? Is that a real one? Because some YouTube videos, they are saying that it's a fake one.
Okay, and Casey,
yeah,
I've got
my good friend, Dr. Sam Wasmanagic. He's the one that runs the research project for the Bosnian pyramids, and my good and unfortunate late friend Philip Coppens him and his wife, Kathleen McGowan, went to the Bosnian pyramids. I think it was either 2011 or 2010. And it was truly, I heard of their experiences. Philip and Kathleen told me about it personally. And while personally I'm on the fence, I think that it should definitely, and I am only on the fence because personally I have not been there. That's the only reason why I cannot give an opinion. However, of all the people that have been there, and Eric von Däniken is one of them as well, he thinks that there's something artificial there. What exactly or when and how this was all developed, who knows? But I know that this project is in good hands with Dr. Sam.
Thank you for the phone call, KC. And I brought in another call, but it doesn't look like it's here. Are you there? Okay.
They've been abducted.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on with the phone system, Giorgio. It is shut down. That's what you did to the phone system here. I'm serious. And it's weird. I see it, but it's just not there. Okay, let me go to another call. Okay, let's try this one.
We should cue the music to the Twilight Zone right now.
Yeah, right. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live right now. Okay. This is bizarre. Okay, let me try this one.
We just blew up the phone system.
Yeah, it failed. What do you mean failed? Oh, no. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're listening right now, 970-770-210, all of you have been brought in, and these calls are not going through. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live. Oh, no, the phone system. I can't believe this. 323, stay right there. I'm trying to bring the calls in. It looks like they're live, and they're not going through. Let's try this one. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna go through this frustration. Thank you. You won't believe, Georgia, if you saw what was going on in front of me right now. Of all the times, Giorgio, stay right there. Stay right there. I'm going to reset the phone line. Stay right there. I'm going to call you right back. Just stay right there. And I'm going to reset the phone system. Okay, everybody? So just relax. Let me do this correctly, and I'll do it in real time, and I'm going to reset the phone system. That's all I can do. This is absolutely bizarre. And, oh, man. It's just the way it goes. This is live radio, and for some reason, it just doesn't want to happen. And I have got so many calls coming in right now. Everybody just relax, and I will try to do this in real time. This is live radio, and this is what happens. But when the phone system starts acting funky, okay, so we've got Giorgio back. I'm going to go to this call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Nothing. Giorgio, are you there? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Okay, yeah, I can't. I've literally got 5 calls live right now. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. All right, there you go, Giorgio. We tried.
So I can. But here's what I can do, or here's what I will do. Let's book an hour and a half next time, so that we have an hour of talk, and then 30 minutes we do phone calls.
It's
great.
great.
We'll announce it and things like that. But you know. That's wild that we just broke the system. So fantastic. Great.
Yeah,
Thank
you know what? That's exactly right. And it's better than no calls, right?
Yeah.
So next week, really quick, let's do this and let's wrap up, and I'll reset the phone system. What are you going to be speaking about out at Contact in the Desert?
So Saturday, it's going to be at 2 p.m. A Q&A and just a meet and greet with me, where what I'll do basically is I'll speak for about a half an hour, 45 minutes. I'll show some slides, and then I'll just open it up to the floor for questions. And then on Sunday, I think it's 4 p.m., I have another lecture where I'll talk about the latest things that I've discovered or seen in my travels. And then also on Sunday, I will be appearing on a panel hosted by George Noory that promises to be really exciting because, let me tell you, it has myself, Jason Martell, Mike Barra, Eric von Daniken, and Robert Boval is on this panel. So this is all very exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait I can't wait to see you there, and of course you'll be back on Fade to Black that Friday night for a few minutes to say hello to everybody too as well, and really look forward to seeing you there. I was going to say one other thing. What was it? Oh, that panel. So that panel is either right before, no, I think it's right after my panel. And what's really cool about that is the audience that's going to be there. That amphitheater holds like 3,000 people, right? And that they're going to have 4 hours of hardcore people up there back to back. Not only you with Nori, but our panel, and it's going to be fantastic. And I just cannot wait to see everybody's faces as this starts to unfold. And I can't wait to see you next week.
Wonderful. Same here, man. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on the show. And, see you next week.
There you go. Thank you so much, Giorgio. Have a great, safe rest of your evening. And thank Damon and Jen for all of their hard work. And, of course, say hello to Crix. And I'll talk to you soon.
I will. And my love to you and all the Fadernauts. You guys rock.
Thank you so much, Giorgio. Giorgio Tsoukalos, everybody. Next week, Contact in the Desert. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to break to commercial right now, and I'm going to reset this phone system that is absolutely taken on a mind of its own. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thank you, Giorgio. Open lines. Your calls are next. This is Fade to Black.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Hi, I'm Richard Dolan. When I'm not hosting my radio program, The Richard Dolan Show on KGRA, or writing new books on UFOs, I run a publishing company. I'm proud to say that Richard Dolan Press has published some of the most fascinating books available on UFOs and related subjects. They include Dr. Bruce Maccabee's classic analysis of the UFO cover-up, David Marler's breakthrough book on triangular UFOs, Dr. Richard Sauter's unique work on underground bases, and other classics by Grant Cameron, Chase Kletsky, and Dr. Bob Wood, not to mention intriguing works by Eve Lorgan and Laurie MacDonald that deal with truly bizarre phenomena. I'm proud to publish such high-quality and original works, and there are several amazing books about to be released over the next few months. Go to richarddolanpress.com to learn more.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482? No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Thank you, Giorgio. Great conversation, man. He is one of the coolest guys, seriously, that I know. Come check him out next week. Contact in the Desert. Just go to contactinthedesert.com. And oh no, I just reset the phones. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. And we will see if the system is now running. Unbelievable. You know what was funny is I literally just got tired of trying. I ended up just bringing like 6 calls in all at the same time, just trying to get one of them to work. And they were all live. Yeah. Oh, man. That's what you call live radio. And I got to give it to Giorgio. Okay, let's see here. Let's try this one. Let's see if this is actually working. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Lisa in Kansas. How are you?
Oh, hey, Lisa in Kansas. Sorry about the phones. It's working now.
I know.
Oh, man, unbelievable. You were trying to call in too, probably, right?
Yes, I was.
What was happening? Could you hear me?
No, not until just a minute or so ago.
Yes.
When you reset it.
Oh, man.
And,
it was, it was funny.
And it was strange. It was a busy signal, or I would get this voicemail of some woman with a foreign accent saying that, my call couldn't be completed.
Well, I got to tell you that the phones lit up as they should. It's Giorgio. But I just want to apologize to everybody. I tried for some reason. It was just overload. The system got overloaded, and there you go. But anyway, what'd you think about that conversation with Giorgio? Cool dude, huh?
Very cool, very cool. And I really wanted to ask him about what he thinks of all the noise that Grant Cameron and Stephen Bassett are making about disclosure this year.
Yeah, that's, well, see, this is the thing. I'll answer for Giorgio because I've talked to him. I've talked to him enough about this that I'll say this. He is not, believe it or not, Giorgio's not a UFO researcher. If you ask him about Roswell, or if you ask him about, some other famous case, Kecksburg, or if you ask him about any of that, Bentwaters, he knows, that it happened, but he doesn't research that stuff. Now, as far as modern ufology goes and disclosure, and if that's going to happen, he follows it, but he doesn't do what you and I do with it. And that would be his answer. Right. He would say, yes, I hope that it happens. It's going to be great. But he doesn't follow that. He doesn't do that. His thing is all of the ancient stuff and megalithic sites. And I can tell you right now, I'm telling you, that would be his answer. Now, I'll say this. I reached out to Stephen today. and him and I exchanged. He is over in London right now. Hope he doesn't mind me saying that. He's over in London. I wanted him.
I think it's on his Facebook. I was just looking at it, so I don't think it's a secret.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
And so I want to get him on. It would have been, I wanted to get him on at 9 o'clock tonight. It would have been 6 a.m. for him over there, and he just couldn't do it. But we're going to have him on the show next week. Yes, this press release that is going around right now, it's hit the mainstream media. It's out there. So I want to bring him on to see exactly where this is coming from. And it seems like he knows something. You know, something has tipped his hat. For him to say that Obama's going to do this before he leaves office, he's got a reason for saying that. So we're going to bring him on, and we'll hear directly from Stephen himself.
Well, Grant Cameron was on Phenomenon Radio tonight, so I don't know if you listened to that prior to the show on Thursday nights or not.
No, I didn't catch it. I normally do because it's one of the best broadcasts out there, and but I missed it tonight, setting up for Tsoukalos and getting some other stuff done. You know what? You just busted me. Thank you, Lisa. That's great. Because I normally listen to Burroughs and Linda, and it's a great broadcast.
Yeah.
But
Linda was having computer troubles and couldn't even get on the show tonight.
Oh, she couldn't?
Mm-mm.
Well, there you go. And especially when it comes with this disclosure subject, you know, people out there that talk. Yeah, people out there that talk. Yeah, that stuff doesn't really happen. They don't interfere. Well, I got to tell you, Lisa, when I used to do sports radio, we never had computer problems. We never had telephone problems. We never had issues. None. As soon as we started this broadcast, it's gotten to the point where the first time I had issues, I got really angry, right? Because I never had it before. And now it's every day. I just like, well, whatever,
Oh,
you just got to laugh about it. But thank you.
I've been listening long enough to know.
Thank you for the phone call, Lisa. And are you going to go to Contact in the Desert?
Oh, I wish.
You should go.
I wish.
It's amazing.
Well, I would if I had the funds to do it.
Oh,
I don't.
I hear you. Well, we'll miss you out there, and we'll have a full report. And, of course, we'll be broadcasting live next Friday.
I will be listening.
Thank you
sure. And thanks for taking my call, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa.
All right. Good night, dear.
Have a good night. And what's funny is the phone system, as I was doing that, I brought in 2 more calls and lined them up, and they disappeared. Okay, let's try this again. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, who's calling?
This is JT from Colorado Springs.
Hey, JT. Have you been calling in tonight?
Yes. I have.
And I'm sorry for the problems with the phones. What was happening when you tried to call in?
I was just telling me that the number has been disconnected.
Oh, man.
Hooray.
Right? Well, okay,
right,
but you got through now. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Jimmy, I love you, man. All right, so this is what I want to say. I went to Ithaca not with Giorgio, but I went to Ithaca. And I wanted to talk to him about Mr. Alderman.
Okay.
I don't know if he had that teacher, but anyways, he's the Department of Physics and Astronomy.
Uh-huh.
And I have him right now. And I kind of wanted to ask him a question. Damn. And I didn't get in, did I?
Yeah. And I apologize. The phone system just got overloaded, and it's still acting funky. And that would have been a great question for him. I know that is where he went to school.
All right. Well, anyways, Jimmy, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We can have a discussion. Anyways.
Okay. What's on your mind?
So let me ask you about this. We had
that call dropped, That wasn't me. I watched it drop. All right. Phone lines are open, 323-825-5045. And maybe he'll call back. If you call back, I've got your number here. I'll put you at the front of the line. 323-825-5045. Sorry, we're having phone problems tonight. It's and I'll explain to everybody what's going on. I can't put calls on hold. That's acting funny. I can't line them up and so forth. It looks like I can only bring in one call at a time, and I have no idea. So, and it's weird how they are lighting up. I've never seen it act like this before. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, it's Tanner from Athens, Georgia.
Hey, Tanner, how are you tonight?
Nice to talk to you. I'm doing good. I just had a quick question because I've never actually heard anyone talk about this before. I have no doubt that the Sumerians were, helped along, by the ETs. I know they were taught language, math, science, writing,
farming.
In all your research, have you heard anything about them being taught, music or them having any form of music?
Well, that's I have actually read, and that's a really, really, really good point. I have actually read articles over the years about the music that was written then, and that they used the same tonal structure that we use today, 8 notes and so forth. And now the question is, what did it sound like, and is it playable? And is anybody out there doing that today, trying to recreate what was played back then? But I have actually read that, yes. I could be dead wrong. Don't everybody quote me on this, but I have read quite a bit. There's a lot of evidence out there that, there's an old quote in music, right? There are no new notes, right? There's no new notes.
Yeah, exactly.
and they used the same notes back then as we do today, and I find that fascinating. Great question, Tanner.
Yeah, and the question is, would they attribute it also to the Anunnaki, or is music kind of a human concept? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's one that should be explored. And I will I'll remember that as we move forward with the guests that we have on the show. I'm going to start hitting them with ancient music questions. I think that's amazing. Thank you so much, Tanner.
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You have a great night, Tanner, and be safe out there, my brother.
Okay, you too. Bye.
That is a great question. Man, after all of these years of doing this show, and I have never gone there, shame on me. But Tanner, thank you for opening up my eyes right there. Let's take one more call before the break. Hi, did it go through? Oh, no. Okay, let's try. Let's go to this one. Let's do this one. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy?
Hi, who's this?
This is Edgardo. I finally got through. I was getting an automated system.
It's busted down, man. I can only do it instead of being smooth and putting calls on hold and saying what's up. It's the machine is broken tonight, Edgardo. But you got through. I'm doing it one call at a time, and
I completely understand. I just wanted to ask. Well, he's not there anymore, but what do you think Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried for?
Well, I think we all have our own theories, but I'm closing in on my original idea that I think I actually got from a caller a few years ago, and it expanded on this, that just maybe they wanted to preserve it as a time capsule so that at some point in the future, like now, we would unbury it and see it perfectly preserved. That's
incredible.
Yeah, why? There's other ideas out there, Edgardo. We're going to be headed towards a break, so I'm going to try to get as much in as I can.
Oh, you got it.
There's another idea is that maybe they knew that there was some cataclysmic event about to happen, right? A cosmic strike, maybe a flood or something else where they needed to bury it to save it and maybe
it's so
leave.
Massive.
Right, and then come back at a later date and they never got a chance to do it. There's that idea. But there's no question that it was deliberately buried. So maybe it was just a museum, a time capsule of them at that point. They buried it so we would find it later. And
wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, Edgardo. Thank you so much. This. All right, I just did that too quick. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go to commercial. Fade to Black. Open lines. 323-825-5045. Good luck with that.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water and it's leaving white spots, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes. Limescale can cost hundreds of dollars a year in wasted energy and early appliance breakdown. HydroCare systems available at Wave Home Solutions prevent and remove limescale with just a simple filter change every 3 years. There are no salts, chemicals, or magnetic coils. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, just go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Hi, I'm Richard Dolan. When I'm not hosting my radio program, The Richard Dolan Show on KGRA, or writing new books on UFOs, I run a publishing company. I'm proud to say that Richard Dolan Press has published some of the most fascinating books available on UFOs and related subjects. They include Dr. Bruce Maccabee's classic analysis of the UFO cover-up, David Marler's breakthrough book on triangular UFOs, Dr. Richard Sauter's unique work on underground bases, and other classics by Grant Cameron, Chase Kletsky, and Dr. Bob Wood. Not to mention intriguing works by Eve Lorgan and Laurie MacDonald that deal with truly bizarre phenomena. I'm proud to publish such high quality and original works, and there are several amazing books about to be released over the next few months. Go to richarddolanpress.com to learn more.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tepe.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Yeah, Fade to Black. Oh, man. Oh, you should see what's going on here during the commercial break. Anyway, we'll get through this together. It's just one call at a time. That's all it is. That's all we can do. So I want everybody to understand. Just go with me on this. I can't put calls on hold. they are going blank. And the calls that are on hold apparently are being told that the phones are disconnected. Or I got one of those, and that the lines are busy and so forth. But obviously I can answer them. I could just only do it one at a time. I can't line up 10 in a row and just bang calls. I don't have that ability right now. It's just one call at a time. And so there you go. So right in front of me right now, I have a blank slate. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. And if I don't pick up, and if you don't get put on hold, now you know why. So just call back. That's all you can do. And I really, really apologize. But you know what? It's live radio. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. You know, it's just the way that it is. It takes a lot to get me red. Okay. All right. So let's try this one. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Oh, no.
Jimmy Church.
Oh, I got you through. What's up, Steve?
Same old, brother.
Man, amazing. Just amazing. How many times, I'll ask you, how many times have you called tonight?
Twice.
And what did you hear?
I got some woman telling me that y'all's phones are disconnected. I was like, what?
Oh, man.
I think disconnected, lady.
So funny. I don't know what it is. There's something electronically going wrong. And it's funny because when I opened up the phone lines for Giorgio, right? They all came in at the same time, and that's it, man. It's like the software is freaked out. I have no idea. But there's nothing I can do now, right? There's nothing I can do now. All I can do is
live radio, brother.
Yeah,
live radio.
You got to love it, man. So what's on your mind tonight, brother?
I've got to tell you what happened to me last week.
Oh, you got a story? You got a story?
I truly believe I met an alien, Jimmy.
Oh, shut up. Okay, Steve, the floor is yours. What happened?
Well, I was picking up a buddy of mine at his hotel, and we was out in the lobby speaking, and he spends a lot of time at his hotel, and the manager wanted him to meet this other gentleman that spent quite a few nights at this hotel. Well, we got into a conversation, and we got to speaking about what we did for a living and stuff. And I told him about working with coal and and having a farm and stuff. And he said, I talked about the environment with coal, with how pollution is and stuff. And he comes out and said, that's all a farce. And I'm like, well, the government sure don't send things to farce. He's, what do you think it is? And he's like, it's all Planet X. And I'm like, you mean the Nibiru? He's like, that's what you all call it. I'm like, what do you mean? That's what we call it. That's what you should be calling it too. Well, this dude pulls out a map, Jimmy, okay? And this is a map like you would get out of like National Geographic magazine.
Okay.
Like a 3x5 map. And this thing is super detailed. And it's an overlay of the entire United States. And it's almost all covered in water. It's the Mississippi is like 20 miles wide. The Great Lakes are one lake or one massive body of water. The East Coast is completely cut off. It's basically an island. There was like an inland sea in the Arizona, New Mexico area. I mean, but this map was super detailed.
He had it.
Like, where did you get this map?
Yeah, he had it in
this dude's carrying this map.
He had it in his pocket?
He had it in a briefcase.
Okay, I got you.
And he unfolds this thing. I mean, it's like a 3x5 map. I mean, it's a big map.
Three
and
feet.
I mean, it's color, everything.
3 feet by 5 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
And it looked like one of those maps like you get out of National Geographic, that they fold up in the pages and stuff.
Gotcha.
I mean, but this thing is massive when he unfolds it. And this thing is super detailed. It's a completely overlay of the entire United States. And then, but it shows it had the Mississippi, like 20 or 30 miles wide. But I'm like, well, what are you saying with this map? And he's saying that when Nibiru gets into the inner solar system in 2019, the gravity from it is going to affect our water.
What?
That's what the dude told me.
What happened next?
And I'm like, well, you have to tell me more about, I tried to get more out of him, but my buddy had to go. But we ended up speaking I thought we spoke for about 30, 40 minutes.
Oh, no kidding.
But my buddy ended up telling me that we ended up speaking for an hour and a half, right? So after we get back in the truck and we're leaving, I feel like I'm getting a download of stuff that we didn't even talk about.
Continue.
Just crazy stuff.
Like what?
Well, like he didn't call Nibiru.
What did he call it?
He called it like Inika, something like that. I couldn't pronounce it. And just all kind of crazy stuff. I felt like I was getting a download of information of just crazy stuff with water and like how the plains, stuff was going to flood and how people were going to, have to move. And then another, because he asked me, I told him where I lived at on the West Virginia border, and he said, "Oh, you'll be okay there." I'm like, "What do you mean I'll be okay there?" He's like, "The water can't get you there."
What did he look like? What did he?
He was an older gentleman. He wasn't. He was probably in his mid-50s, but he told me he was a real estate agent. That's what he said he done for a living, was a real estate agent. And it was just the craziest, and I've been a lot of places, and I've never met anyone, like that. And just to pull out a map like that, and to start talking about Planet X, because we were just talking about the environment, and, stuff like that, and then he's just like tells me that's all a farce, that it's just a government ploy to keep us from figuring out about Planet X.
That's incredible. And
and my buddy that was with me was just like dumbfounded. He was like, "What are y'all talking about?"
Did you mention Fade to Black?
No. I should have. I was like, "Man, do you listen to Jimmy?" But no.
That's did you get a business card?
No, I didn't get a business card.
Oh, man, always get the business card, Steve. You know that.
But I couldn't. I was just dumbfounded, Jimmy.
Yeah, I can
when
only.
He pulled out this map. I lost it.
I
lost it. I was like, "What?" I was like, "You got to get me one of these." And he's like, "No." He was just like, "No, it's
privileged.
That's all you get to see, kind of stuff."
Yeah, right. Wow. What else was in his briefcase?
He had some other stuff in his briefcase, like real estate stuff.
He didn't have one of those Men in Black zappers, did he?
No. I didn't see nothing like that.
Oh, man. All right, Steve. Hey, thank you for the phone call, my brother. And when are you going to make it out to Contact in the Desert, man? When are you coming out this way?
I don't know, brother. I don't know. Trying to make things work right now with the cold the way it is. It's just tough.
Yeah, I know.
Get away.
And we'll be headed out east at some point, but you've got to come out to Contact in the Desert and see what it's really about.
I wish I could get there, bro. I really do.
I know you do. And there is always next year, and it's going to be here before you know it. A blink of an eye.
Yep. I'd really like to come to the Roswell thing, too.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was wanting to ask Giorgio about was, he done a show with the Roswell Rock.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did.
And I always thought that was weird. That dude had that rock and found that rock like that. That was pretty kind of incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And I wonder whatever happened to that show. What was he calling that? Chasing Aliens or something?
Chasing aliens, yep.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to try to answer some more of these phone calls, Steve.
All right, brother. As always, Jimmy. Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much, man. Okay, I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work. You got to be kidding me. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's try this one. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
This is K28.
Oh, hey, K.
How are you?
You got through. How many times have you tried to call tonight?
Just one on the first ring.
Right now?
Yes.
I hear crickets in the background.
I'm outside. Sorry.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, you got through on the first click here. So what's on your mind, Kay?
Yeah, about the dating of ancient monoliths like the Sphinx and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the alignment to the stars.
Yes.
And it's based on the precession of the Earth, right?
The equinox, yes.
Yeah, but basically, they have no way of knowing how many times it went through the precession. So you're talking about 26,000 years per cycle, right?
Yeah. That question has come up. I bring it up all the time. It at 10,500 BC, the Sphinx is facing Leo, Sirius is overhead, and that lines up. That's fine. But what about 26,000 years before that? And before that.
Or before that, right. Like 10 times would be 260,000 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I keep saying this, but now I haven't been to Giza, man. I have not. But it just looks to me like they have been there for a long, long time. I mean, I think, and again, it's just my eyeballs, that the pyramids looked like they do today, right? Like they did 2,000 years ago, and like they did 5,000 years ago. They probably looked exactly the same, and that's me. I think that they're tremendously old. I think the Sphinx, when I look at the Sphinx today, that doesn't look like 10,000 years of weathering to me, man. That looks like a lot of weathering. I mean, a lot. Yeah. When I say a lot, 50,000, 100,000 years, I don't think is out of the question, because you can look at different megalithic structures around the world that are obviously 5,000 years old that don't look aged like the Sphinx does, and like the pyramids do. They just don't. They still look fresh, and that's my opinion. When you look at what's going on down in Peru, and you look at those walls, you don't see the aging, the weathering, and look. In Peru, where they have cycles of weather and seasonal events that happen there that don't happen in Giza, so you would expect to see other, weather effects on those stones, and you just don't. They look fresh. So I don't know. I think the Sphinx is really, really, really freaking old.
I do too. Now imagine this. What if the sand is just the upper surface of where the current structures are? What if 2 miles of sand below there's more structures, but we can't see them because they're too deep? Like Antarctica, right? That's 2 miles deep as well.
Well, that's always the question, isn't it? And I totally agree with you there. And the reason why I say that is the recent photographs of the Sphinx, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, when it was just that head above the sand, right? But the sand had filled everything in, and they had no idea what was below it then. And that's how far they've excavated. But there's no telling how much sand is blown into the desert and what it has covered up out there. We don't have a clue, and we don't know how deep it could be. When we're talking about, 50 feet for the Sphinx, right? That's 50 feet. What else is out there 50 feet, 100 feet down? We just don't know. Going back, not going back 5,000 years. I'm talking about way, 20,000 years ago. How much of that sand is blown into the desert and what was really there. We obviously know that the Nile Valley at one point was lush and tropical and beautiful. It's not that today. So I'm totally with you. I think that's one of the great mysteries that we have in front of us.
It's going to take a great sandstorm to blow all that sand out of there. So.
Well, you need to take a big ass leaf blower.
Yeah, I'll call the gardener over.
A big vacuum cleaner.
That's right.
You know when they go and they suck all the sand out of the bottom, when they're dredging and doing stuff like that on the bottom of the ocean, that's what they need to do in Giza. They need.
But where are they going to put
it? Somewhere else, man.
Maybe send it into space.
Just get the trucks lined up. Thank you so much, Kay. I'm going to try to get to these phone calls, man. Thank you so much.
Good to talk to you.
Great phone call. Okay, now I'm going to try this. I got to do this one at a time, everybody. So I'm going to do this manually and see if I can do this. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Well, hi, Jimmy.
Hi, who's this?
This is Bev.
Oh, hey, Bev, how are you? You got through.
Yes, I can't believe it. I know I can't get over what's wild, isn't it?
Well, it's live radio. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. It's just that I have to do it one at a time. I have to hang up and then actually physically answer a phone call instead of putting it on hold. But that's the way it goes. So, okay. What's on your mind tonight, Bev?
Well, that phone call with Steve.
Oh, wasn't that great?
It was wild. I really, truly believe it was an alien in disguise.
Steve is one of the straightest shooters that I know, that our family knows. We all know what Steve is about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for him to go there, I believe I've got to go with his intuition on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, I truly believe there are aliens among us that are disguised as us.
Yeah, we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't know, but for that to happen, out of the blue, and somebody that he's never met, and just open up a briefcase and take out a map of the United States. We've all seen those maps of what the flooding may look like, and they've done the computer simulations of it. And I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going through Twitter right now, and they're being posted. And the ones that were being posted, Nancy posted one. Didn't have what he was talking about exactly. He said, well, I'm looking at another one here. Oh, Bob just posted one. Yeah, this is pretty good, too, as well. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if this is what he was talking about. But, we just don't know, do we? And we know what effect the moon has on our tides, right? Our tides are because of the moon. But just imagine if some large body swung by and what would happen. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know, and it's like that would just flip me out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Bev.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great, safe night. I have to answer these calls now one at a time.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you for calling, Bev.
Well, thank you. Love you a bunch, Jimmy.
Right back at you. And, okay, I got to do this one at a time. One at a time. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live.
Am I live?
Yes, you're live right now. You got through.
Hi, Jimmy. That's amazing because your actual the stream is actually delayed. So, first of all, thank you for everything you do every day. All your broadcasts. I've been a long time Wolfman member, and it's amazing. Two things that I wanted to bring into the discussion here. The first is, I would have been interested to hear what Giorgio had to say with what Corey Good was talking about the Anshar. You know how these guys have been coming up on the surface teaching versus the ancient alien hypothesis.
Yes.
Because we never really actually had these two opinions sort of like being brought into the table. Maybe you guys can discuss this at Joshua Tree in a week from now.
Sure.
Because this has completely changed everything, as we know. And if any of this is true, that means that the Sumerian, the teachers, the whatever that have come down, are no longer these guys, but the actual Anshar or whoever's been coming out from the source. And the second question, or not the question really, the comment is, Gordon Michael Stallion has been publishing those Earth maps for years, and you can actually buy those maps. the 8x5 that your other caller was talking about.
Yes.
You can actually get them. They're published and they're expensive. You can have like $40-$50, and maybe this guy was not necessarily an alien, but maybe he was one of those people who actually got those maps and just happened to have them, or maybe he's an interested party, or maybe he wants to get real estate when all these things start happening.
Right. Yeah, there's no question about that. But Steve, this is the thing about Steve. He is a very skeptical, open-minded, feet on the ground type of person. And I can only imagine getting caught up in the moment like that when you're just talking to somebody about whatever that you just met, and the next thing you know, he whips out a map like this. So, I have to trust his intuition that something strange was going on. Now, I'm totally with you because that's exactly what I thought. Okay, it's the first thing that popped into my head was this is an enthusiast, somebody that is following somebody out there, and he's got his opinions because he's been listening to other people's research, and he's got his hands on this map, and he's talking about Nibiru. So there you go. I mean, I'm with you. But then again, this is the thing. I trust Steve's intuition. I really do. I just think it was a strange moment. And for Steve to go there, which he doesn't, he's called into the show many, many times. And I trust his opinion. But he's as skeptical as any of my friends are. And for him to go into that zone so quickly, I find fascinating. But let me throw this back to you, actually. What was your name again?
My name is Evangelos. So, long-time listener. I've been a MUFON member for when we used to have MUFON. And Steve knows me. I've been part of the board there.
Okay.
There.
So you're saying Evangelos like the songwriter?
Evangelos. No, but Vangelis was the Cherry Safari guy, and it's the same name really, but the full version is Evangelos.
Okay, I got you. But what do you think? I want to throw this directly back at you, and we've only got a couple of minutes here before we head to break.
I understand.
What do you think about what Corey Goode is saying? Because obviously you're following it. You've listened to Corey on this show, and you know that we're friends, and I'm very interested in his experiences. But what do you think about Corey?
Well, we do not necessarily know what exactly Corey's information is the origin of, but we definitely know that he appears to be quite a trustworthy, honest person, that whatever he says, he truly believes. So if a person has not been somehow altered and his perception is not necessarily accurate, if that is not the case, then whatever Corey is telling us is really a plausible explanation of reality. Now, you have Corey and you have David and you have a whole bunch of other whistleblowers that are coming out through the years that they're somehow corroborating this information. And to throw this also as a possibility, you also have David and other people, and I forgot what was the name of this lady that passed away, that was talking about that recently, that they were all talking about the fact that there might be a split of the Earth. You may have a actual, when this event, whatever this event will be, you'll have two different Earths happening. So at one event, you have the ascension event. So you have the ability of the people who are going to make the cut, who are going to be harvested for David and the law of one. They're going to be experiencing this planet reality, which is an elevated reality. And then you're going to have the other ones that are going to experience the Gordon-Michaels Canyon's map of reality. So maybe these are both plausible experiences, but we do not know.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And this is and you bring up a really good point, and which is this: I believe that Corey believes in his information. I do believe that, and there are a lot of other whistleblowers that have come out to corroborate it. But on that same sense, could it be something more devilish? Something more sinister? Could it be that not only Corey but others like him have been implanted with these thoughts and ideas and information over a period of time, and that they just don't know now the difference between reality and not, and that to them these memories and this information is 100% real. And that's is it a possibility? Absolutely, it is a possibility. What I do know is when I look into Corey's eyes and when I speak to him in person, that this is a guy that is genuine. I fully believe that. And you when you meet him, it takes it to a whole nother level. It's one thing to hear him on the radio or to see him on a Guy MTV or to read his post and read his information. That's one thing. But when you are actually in his presence and talking to him, then you take a step back and you're like, holy crap. This is, it starts to scare you is what it does. And there you go. So, hey, listen, we're going to head to a break.
Yeah.
And thank you for the phone call.
Thank you.
And don't be a stranger.
I will. Thank you, Jimmy. Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for the phone call. And that is always the dilemma that we have in front of us right here. Yeah, Corey Good is definitely a genuine person that I have trust in. I do. I just do, because I've met him. I've hung out with him. That's me. Maybe one day you'll get to do the same. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Phone calls are next, 323-825-5045. Yes, I'm having problems with the phones. So if you call in and something's funky, just call back. I got to do them one at a time. I'll be right back.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth, and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. 323-825-5045. Yeah, I got problems with the phones. I got to do this one phone call at a time. Nobody can be put on hold. I can't line calls up. I have to do this one call at a time. So let's see if it's hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Oh, hi. Is that Jimmy?
Yes, you are live.
Oh, yeah, I got through. This is Tara. This is my first time calling. I've been listening to you since February. I'm sorry you're having all the trouble with the phones tonight. I did have a...
Yeah, it's quite all right, and thank you for the phone call, Tara. What's your question? What's going on?
Well, my question was, and it's a little funny just going with what's happening, you mentioned that you never had any trouble like this when you were doing sports radio. So my question was, have you ever been threatened or anything like that for what you do?
Interesting question, and the direct answer to that is no. I mean, like a direct threat. Have I had anything strange happen? Yes. Early on, this ended about 2 years ago, but the first year of the show, we were contacted constantly from one of the members of the Joint Chiefs. And he would call in and call into the show, and I would never pick up his phone calls. And he would call me off the air and sent me text messages and things, and I never responded back. It freaked me out. And so that was going on. And then about 6 months ago, I had a strange couple of visits over at our house from a lady in a suit. And she said, she flashed her ID on me. She said she was from the census, which was stupid, and wanted to know, personal questions. And I was like, you know what? No, no. And the answer was no. And she had like a tablet with her, and she had all this information about me on this tablet, and she was clicking on it as I was telling her, no, I'm not going to answer this question. And I could tell, she was, doing that after every response. And I tried to look at the tablet, and she wouldn't let me look at it. And then about a week later, she came back, and she had somebody else with her, and it was bizarre. In all of my years, I'm 52. I've never had anybody like that knock on my door and ask me these questions, and it was bizarre. I was thinking all kinds of weird thoughts, but definitely a government employee of some kind. From where, who saying they're from the census, whatever. I'm not buying into that, but it was pretty bizarre. I was thinking, man, maybe it's the IRS, maybe it's somebody else, maybe I'm being investigated. I don't know. Your mind wanders with something like that. But definitely up to no good. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so to Lee on Twitter, I did it. I called so he can get off my case now. And also, is that you playing guitar in the intervals? No, that is a guy named Doug Aldrich. But in the commercial that plays about, I think it's Studio Dome. That's me playing guitar on that, though, in the commercial. Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
And look, this show's great. I found it. It's really nice to find like-minded people, and it really gives me something to look forward to. So thanks very much.
Yeah, isn't Twitter amazing and everybody that hangs out there?
Yes, they are. They're a bunch of little antagonizers, though.
Yeah, that's what they do, but they don't bite. Nobody bites.
No, they don't. So, go Beckley Tedley.
Where's your accent from?
Originally, I'm from New Zealand, but I live down in Bogalusa, Louisiana.
Now, check this out. Did you know that smokers in New Zealand are going to start paying $20 for a pack of cigarettes under the government's new budget plan that was released today? Did you hear about this?
I heard about it, and my stepdad is taking up the e-cigarettes now because he can't pay that.
I couldn't believe it. The government of New Zealand plans to hike tobacco taxes by 46% over the next 4 years. And they are saying that they want to eliminate all smoking in New Zealand, by 2025. Once the
tell you, It won't happen. They're too stubborn.
Well, they were saying today, this is what I read, that once the taxes are in place, a pack of 20 cigarettes, a pack of cigarettes are going to cost 30 New Zealand dollars or $20, the highest price in the world.
Yeah, and that's why everybody rolls their own back there. They do, because you can get a whole, bag of it for about $20. And actually, incidentally, you can be prosecuted for growing your own tobacco and selling it.
They are are you serious?
I'm serious. I don't know if it's still around because I've been out of the country for 3 years now. But I remember people actually, coming and, they'd have a bag of it and they'd sell it to you for $20. I mean, it wasn't, happy weed or anything. It was just regular old tobacco.
That is hilarious. So you have tobacco dealers.
I think that's really what it was. But, it all comes down to the taxes, Jimmy. That's all it's about.
$20 for a pack of cigarettes, man.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was back there, the cheapest one you could get was probably $13, and that's only 3 years ago.
Oh, man. That's
but
insane.
Everything is just, everything's expensive there.
Hey, Tara, welcome to Fade to Black.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
I get something from the drawer?
Yeah, absolutely. Write Rita right now, and we'll get something to you, okay?
Okay. All right, I sure will.
Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. Bye now.
There you go. $20 for a pack of cigarettes in New Zealand. Wow. I've got some anonymous news. 323-825-5045. And remember, I've got to do this one phone call at a time. And, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Here we go. I don't know if this is going to work. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Can't believe I got through. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Who's calling?
This is Mark, first-time caller.
Hey, Mark, first-time caller. Where are you calling from?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bridgeport, Connecticut. Great place. And Freeport. Where?
Sweetport.
Oh, Sweetport. Okay, there you go. Sorry for the phone troubles tonight, man, but I got to do this one at a time. Very frustrating, but
it's okay, man. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I've really enjoyed your show.
Thank you so much, Mark. And so what's cracking, man? What's on your mind?
So I heard most of the interview, but the question that you asked him about what would it take to really blow the doors off this and for people to say, yeah, this is real.
Right.
And, weren't there like 10,000 people that saw these gigantic ships cross over Arizona? I think they might even have gone over a couple of states.
Oh, you're talking about the Phoenix Lights back in 1998.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So, that's happened, but I don't know. What do you think? I think there was probably like a media blackout. Maybe that wouldn't happen now, but what if something like that were to happen today?
Yeah, this is what's funny with that, Mark, is that there's such an ability and desire to take down any event like that when it happens, such as when Phoenix Lights happened. The governor out there, Fife Symington, came out and did that audacious press conference where he had an alien, in a costume. Right. And when he knew himself that he had witnessed it with his own son, and he knew it, right? And he felt guilty about it and came back out and said it. But they made a very concerted effort to say that all of those people in Phoenix, everybody that was there saw nothing, that it was a military exercise. When it flew not only across Phoenix, but took a southern turn, went down and flew over Tucson. There were many videos of this. There was one crazy video of the object that was on the internet that is gone.
Really?
Yeah, they've managed to pull it down. It was a crazy nighttime video, and you could see this V-shaped craft flying over and blocking out the stars and going across. It was a grainy video, but anyway, but I think that's what would happen unless.
You think the same thing would happen if that happened tonight?
I think the quick answer would be absolutely 100%, no question about it, that they would be able to say it was blah, 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 or it was this, or it was that. No matter how many thousands of cell phone videos would capture it, they wouldn't say that it was alien. If it was, that they would be able to say, we were testing something. It was this. It was It was planes flying in formation. It was, look what happened. Look what happened over New York, and when that entire thing went down, which was right outside of not right outside of Manhattan, but 50 miles away, Hudson Valley. And
my friend saw it.
Yeah, exactly. And they tried to say that it was ultralight aircrafts, flying in formation.
No, he said, my friend told me this thing was the size of like several football fields.
Yes.
It was gigantic.
Yeah, traffic was stopped. People pulled over on the freeway, hundreds, and witnesses and the different descriptions of it. And look, if it was a bunch of ultralights, hang gliders with engines on it, which would not be stable enough to me to look solid. And also that people know the difference between Christmas lights on amateur aircraft and something else.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm kind of in Dolan's camp. I think, that it's like impossible that it's going to happen, but it's inevitable.
Well,
kind of like a paradox.
Oh, yeah. It's the correct definition of paradox, isn't it? But this is what I think. Aside from a mass sighting, daylight of something incredible, that would obviously help things. But you know how I think it's going to happen? They know, and I think there's going to be some kind of accidental situation like that the government can't control, like WikiLeaks. And, and then boom, somebody gets access to a server somewhere with the critical data on it, and that gets out there. That could be something that I see as very, very realistic and also highly probable. And because, with Stephen Bassett's little announcement, that's going around today that Obama is going to make an announcement before he leaves office. We've got Hillary talking about this and Podesta and of course, Jimmy Kimmel seems to be the light that's attracting the moths right now. But that just maybe they know that they have to try to get in front of this, that there is something that's about to happen, whether it's a leak of information or that they know that something is approaching Earth that we're going to end up seeing with our own telescopes. And, there's some kind of thing that is about to happen and they need to get out in front of it and head this off at the pass. Is that realistic? If Obama comes out and says something, I don't know, Mark, if you caught this, but he said recently on Ellen with that 6-year-old little girl, which was interesting, where he said that we haven't had any direct communication. I'm like, what does indirect mean, pal? What do you mean indirect? What kind of communication are you talking about? I know what I'm talking about, but what are you talking about when you say we haven't had indirect communication or no direct communication? What does that even mean?
Drift disclosure.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mark, thank you for the phone call, my
Jimmy,
brother.
thank you for your work. You're incredible, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. And write Rita right now on our website. Shoot her a quick email. We'll put something in the mail to you.
Jimmy, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Mark. And that's what I'm talking about, first-time caller. There you go. All right, I'm going to try. See, this is the thing. Okay, I'm going to try this right now. Let's see if this one works. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, I was just checking out spaceweather.com. Could be what's going on with your phone, son. Right now we have a G1 minor storm going by.
Could be. Well, you know.
I always check when I get a headache in a certain area, my brain or whatever you call it. I always go to space weather. And then with your phone problems, I'm going,
Well, you know, if it blew by right when we opened up the phone lines. That's all bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's Giorgio's fault. He owes you.
Thank you so much for the call, Tammy.
All right, hon. Bye.
Bye. There you go. Possibility. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I have to do this one at a time. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, this is Dave in South L.A.
Hey, Dave in South L.A., how are you?
I'm good. Sorry about the problems tonight, but, I just tweeted something. If I was an alien, I'd definitely go to the RNC convention and mess with people's heads.
That's a good one.
But I just, I know we're pressed for time here, and I wanted to quickly maybe tie up what we were talking about last time about creativity and the whole process. And it's this interface that human beings are capable of, that the Illuminati or the Cabal, whatever you want to call them, the Cabbage Patch Kids, this is what they fear the most.
Of course it is.
That is why creativity is repressed, individuality is repressed, people are kept working, they're kept in their cubicles, they're kept making widgets, all that stuff. The arts aren't funded properly, all that stuff. Because when enough people are able to interface with that, they will be able to create a permanent space in the collective human consciousness that interfaces with a power that they themselves are subject to.
And you know what's really funny is if you go and I'm going to have to let you go. I'm going to try. Yeah. Hang on for a second. Hey, Les, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Oh, man. Okay. Wow. It worked. Okay.
Yay.
So, okay. I can almost relax. Hey, Les, turn me down in the background, or one of you, turn me down. I can hear me.
You're off of mine.
Okay, good. Dave, is go, and I'll suggest this to everybody, watch back to back. Go watch 1984, the movie, and watch Brazil, the movie. Watch those back to back, and those are some of the most chilling visions of the future. That is exactly where the man wants us to be, right there. So there you go. Right. Hey, Dave, have a great, safe rest of your weekend, man, and we'll see you right here on Monday.
All right. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Thank you so much. And that's what I'm talking about, Les.
Yep. Man, he's right. And, a perfect example, and I'll give you one of, my wife actually works from home now. She works for the same company she's worked for 15, 16 years. But if she was actually working from the office, they did this quote unquote new, so they quote unquote make more money. They basically, have become 10 times as stringent. You can't leave. You literally have to ask to go to pee.
Wow.
You can't be an adult and just get up from your desk and go, you literally have to get permission to go pee. If that's not institutionalized, I don't know what is.
And what's crazy about that whole system is, and that way of thinking is, if you think about the one area in life on Earth right now that is the most creative and the most expansive and what is moving forward and so forth, is Silicon Valley and the internet. And they allow, the open corporate structure and an entire, no micromanaging, right? And I worked at, and if anybody's listening right now that worked with me, I worked at a company called Alesis. And when I worked there, that company's still around today. But the original version of Alesis from the middle of 1990 up to 1998. I was there from 94 until 98 or 99 in its heyday. And that company, aside from a few different areas in the company, but the company in general was total autonomy. You had freedom to think, freedom to create, freedom to come and go as you please, and you weren't micromanaged. And I'm telling you right now, that company flourished. The products that were thought up were cutting edge, and it was a glorious, fun place to work, and money was being made. So therefore we had a business model that worked, that allowed for creativity and getting those creative products to market as quick as possible. And it works that way. And when you turn around and stifle somebody's creativity, which ultimately ended up happening at the end of Alesis. And I'll say this right now. I'll say this publicly, and the people that worked at Alesis know exactly what I'm talking about. In the end, that when the freedom of thought and everything else started to get clamped down, the company virtually went bankrupt overnight because there were products that we needed to stay ahead of the curve on the marketplace. And we did that because we had this freedom of just thinking up crazy shit. Oh, I just cussed on my own show.
No, that's all right, man.
Just dreaming up this really cool stuff, and no matter what we did, it was like, yeah, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's try it. Yeah, you know what, that's not crazy enough. Let's go there.
Absolutely.
And then in the end, when myself and other people there were going, hey, you know what? We need to start to visit this, and we need to start. No, let's stay with our current stuff. And it was like, whoa! And before you know it, we got passed up in a matter of months with other companies that were thinking ahead of the curve. And I'm telling you right now, man, Alesis went from being very successful one month to the next month being broke. And it happened so fast, and my message to any company out there, if you're listening, don't micromanage, man. Freedom, autonomy. Let people be creative. That's how genius happens. Genius doesn't happen if you're telling somebody that, good idea, but nah.
Genius, you're right. Genius happens when you think outside the box, when you're not being made to drive down a straight line. And to add to that, Jimmy, a lot of companies would be doing much better now. I think if they act, it's been proven time and again, you take care of your employees, you treat your employees like family, and your business prospers because then your employees care about your business.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if they have a vested interest in not only what happens in the future in the company, but that their thoughts matter, then they're not going to quit. That's one of the things that doesn't happen anymore is, an employee that stays with a company for 30 or 40 years and retires there. Now, somebody that is 50 years old today has worked for 20 companies.
No job security either.
Yeah, they don't have any allegiance.
No.
And it's really, really, really true.
No, I mean, by the time anybody gets a job, they're already looking for their next job in a year or two.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. Yeah. I'll be hanging out with people that have great, secure jobs, and all they want, as soon as they start talking to somebody else, oh, really? Hey, you guys hiring? What's going on over there? I'm like, dude, wait, what are you talking about? It's just like crazy. Oh, man, great week on the show, huh?
Absolutely. It's always a great week, Jimmy.
Yeah,
always a great week.
And thank you for all that you do, Les. And I'm just going to say it now out loud. Thank you, and get us out of here.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to see you next week, Jimmy. Special thanks to George Tsoukalos for being here tonight and all the first-time callers and Fadernauts who phoned home. Fade to Black executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Special thanks to LJ3, that's me, Renee, Jonas, Mark. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Brother Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. See him at spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, syndicated on KGRA, The Planet. And with that, for the week, Jimmy and I are out of here.
Thank you so much, Les. Have a great, safe weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
See you on Coast.
Oh, yeah, Coast. There you go. Yeah, tomorrow night I'm over at Coast to Coast. Sitting in for George Nori, my guest will be Dr. Stephen Greer. So I'll see everybody tomorrow night on Coast. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, or copied or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tebby.